Today I am going to give my predictions for SummerSlam. Both nights of SummerSlam take place this weekend from Minnesota, and I'm going to talk about both nights, give my thoughts, give my predictions. And yeah, let's just jump right into it. Don't want to waste any time. Let's start with night one on Saturday. And I'm not sure if this is the exact bout order, but I am going to go on the way they are listed on my screen here. So the first matchup of the evening is going to be a 6 women's tag between the Bella Twins of Nikki and Brie with Paige versus Fatal Influence of JC Jane, Lainey Reed, and Fallon Henley. And this is probably the match on SummerSlam I'm least looking forward to. Me personally, the return of the Bellas and Paige has not been great. It has not even been good in my opinion. I haven't been a fan of anything they've done on television. It seems more of a nostalgia act to me. And as far as Fatal Influence goes, nothing they've really done on television has drawn me in yet. I do think there is some potential with them, but for me personally, nothing has drawn me in. I do think there is a chance that they put the team of the Bellas and Paige over just again for that nostalgia to try and get that fan reaction just because they are the much bigger stars here. But me personally, I think Fatal Influence should win this, put the young team over, try and build them more. Plus, they are still the tag team champions, I believe. So let's have Fatal Influence go over here. I do understand the Paige and Bella stuff. It's done nothing for me. I think you should take all 3 contracts and just give them to Bayley. I think Bayley's much more important to on-screen television stuff here, but I understand that Bellas and Paige are merch sellers and they do have that nostalgia. But what they've been doing, it's been nothing for me. But yeah, I got Fatal Influence winning this 6 women's tag. Then we move to what might be my most anticipated match of the weekend, and that's going to be Gunther versus Nick Aldis. I think this is going to be outstanding. I'm so excited to see the WWE debut of Nick Aldis. They were kind of teasing him and McIntyre, which would have been awesome too. And then I am even more excited for this. I think Nick Aldis and Gunther is going to be outstanding. Gunther is maybe my favorite professional wrestler in all of wrestling currently. And him as a heel here, Nick Aldis as the GM who's had enough as the babyface. I think it's going to be a great match. Nick Aldis looks great. Nick Aldis, I've seen more of his NWA stuff than of his TNA stuff or any other promotion. And then saw the match with Cody at the first whatever they called the first one, All In, All Out. I forget what it was called. But the first one of that where Cody won the NWA championship. Saw that match as well. So I'm excited to see Nick Aldis' debut here. I'm not sure where they're going to go with him after this. He's certainly not winning this. Gunther is winning this. It should be physical. It should be entertaining. And yeah, I think it might steal the show. It is maybe my most excited match for SummerSlam. But Gunther is victorious. Then we move to the 6-man tag between LA Knight, Solo Sikoa, and Royce Keys versus the Bloodline of Fatu and the Usos. And this is another match I'm not too excited for. I think it's going to be interesting to see how Royce Keys does in his biggest spotlight yet. This is certainly his most important match in WWE. LA Knight, big star, for whatever reason, and it has to be backstage stuff at this point. For whatever reason, they don't pull the trigger on him, but he's been over with the fans for years now, so he'll get a good reaction. And then I don't see the Bloodline losing this. I think it's too soon to kind of create some ultimate dissension between them where stuff actually starts falling apart. So yeah, I got Fatu and the Usos winning here, the Bloodline. Then we move to Liv Morgan versus Iyo Sky for the Women's World Championship. And this should be a real solid match. I think it's going to be the best women's match of the weekend. And I'm a big fan of Liv Morgan. I think Iyo Sky is solid in the ring. I think it should be entertaining. I think Liv Morgan should win this because I'm pretty sure it's her first title defense since WrestleMania, and that has a bunch of fans upset. Liv Morgan has a bunch of fans upset for whatever reason. The internet is not too big on her currently. But yeah, I think Liv Morgan is victorious here. Maybe she loses to Iyo. I can see Iyo winning it. Maybe we have some Stephanie Vicaire return. Maybe we have some Rhea interference. Who knows? But I think Liv Morgan is going to retain here, but I certainly can see Iyo winning. But I got Liv. Now we move to our final two matches, and I'm not sure the order this is going to go, but we'll start with Femi versus Brock Lesnar in a Hell in a Cell match, and I'm excited for this. It is a match that feels like a Hell in a Cell is necessary to use, unlike when they would just be forced to have Hell in a Cell matches when they had the pay-per-view. I think this might be the first Hell in a Cell since Seth and Drew, or Punk and Drew, sorry. I might be wrong on that, but I think this might be the first Hell in a Cell match since Punk and Drew, and that one was outstanding. I don't think this is going to live up to that. I do believe it's going to be super entertaining because it's two super entertaining guys. I certainly don't think there's any way Femi loses this. I don't know how they get to Femi winning. Is he going to destroy Brock? Is it going to be back and forth? Is Paul Heyman going to be involved? Who knows? I think it should be outstanding. And if it is Brock Lesnar's last match, I'm sure he's going to try and show out and have a great one. And I think he will do that. And I do think this is going to be his last match. And what a hell of a career it has been for Brock Lesnar. I've been watching him my whole life, been entertained by him my whole life. So thanks, Brock, for all those memories. And Femi, you're up next. And he needs to be in title contention right after this. He won King of the Ring and gave up his title opportunity for this. So as soon as he wins this, he needs to be, his next match should be for a title. Who knows if that's the case, but Femi is victorious. Then we move to our main event of the evening, and it is going to be, well, I don't know if it's the main event of the evening, but it's our main event the way I'm going through this. CM Punk defending his undisputed WWE Championship versus Cody Rhodes, and I think it's going to be an outstanding match. The build to it, it's been decent. It could have been better, but I think it's going to be great. I think it's too soon to take the title off of CM Punk already. They do have a Sunday night main event coming up in Atlanta. Do they want the title on Cody for the show in Atlanta, or is he just going to be in a big match in Atlanta? To jump ahead, I do think Sami Zayn is going to beat Finn Balor to become the number one contender, but he can kind of work with both of these guys. He can obviously feud with Punk just because Punk showed up on short notice and took the title from him, and then he has some history with Cody Rhodes as well. So either guy works for Sami Zayn next. But yeah, I think it's too soon to take it off of CM Punk here. I think it's going to be a great match, and I got CM Punk retaining. Then we move to night two. And night two, let's start with Danhausen versus Dominik Mysterio. And I don't know what to think about this match. It's a human money's on a pole match. It's going to have all the silliness, all the goofiness. I'm sure it'll be entertaining for good or bad reasons. But I am a big fan of Danhausen, but I don't need to see him wrestle. I was at a house show recently, and he wrestled on the house show, and I think that's perfect. I think that's fine. But when it comes to national television and pay-per-views, I would much rather him just be a backstage segment guy. I don't want to see him beating guys, especially Dominik Mysterio. I don't think Dominik Mysterio should be losing to Danhausen. Do I think they do it? I think they might. I'm not sure if they end Danhausen's winning streak here. But Dominik Mysterio should not be losing to Danhausen. So just out of who I think should win, I'm going Dominik Mysterio. But I think Danhausen might get it done because WWE is in love with him, and they should be. He's a huge merch seller. He's getting a lot of attention. But me personally, I'm going Dom Mysterio. Then we move to Sami Zayn versus Finn Balor for the number one contender for the undisputed WWE Championship. And this should be a good one. I think certainly Sami Zayn is the winner here. Finn Balor did have a match with Punk earlier in the year, and that was a good one. But Sami Zayn is much more figured into the title picture here. So I think Sami Zayn is certainly victorious here, but it should be entertaining. Now we move to the United States Championship match between Trick Williams and Baron Corbin, and this is one I really don't care about. I want to see Trick Williams. I think he is a star. I think he's going to be a massive star, and I'm excited to see Trick Williams. But Baron Corbin does nothing for me. He didn't do anything for me in NXT. He didn't do anything for me in his first run. He doesn't do anything for me now. The best stuff he did was the backstage stuff when he was the bum, broke Corbin, or I forget what they called him, but when he was down on his luck, Corbin. But yeah, Trick Williams, have a great entrance, look like a star, and win quick. Trick Williams will retain here. Then we move to the women's ladder match, 5-way ladder match for the interim women's championship of Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill versus Chelsea Green versus Charlotte Flair and versus the winner of Julia and Lash Legend, who I think it's going to be Lash Legend who wins that. But whoever wins out of Julia and Lash, I don't see them winning this ladder match. This is Tiffany Stratton's hometown, so I'm sure she's going to want to put a lot of effort into this. But for me, I think the only two winner choices here are Jade Cargill and Charlotte Flair. I don't know if Rhea's ready right away to end up facing this winner. Who knows how soon it will be. I think it's Charlotte Flair. I think Charlotte Flair is going to become the women's interim champion. She hasn't been champion in a while. She's kind of gotten the fans back in her good graces ever since her tag team with Alexa, which wasn't for me. And I'm personally not that big on Charlotte currently. But seeing her win another title would be cool, and I think she makes the most sense here. So Charlotte Flair winning the ladder match. Then we move to the Intercontinental Championship match between Penta and Chad Gable, and Chad Gable is going to win this. This is going to be his first singles title in WWE. He's going to become Intercontinental Champion in his hometown, and hopefully they do something with him. I am a massive Chad Gable fan, but ever since the El Grande stuff, it seems like someone backstage does not like Chad Gable because that entrance music is terrible. It's grown on me a little, but compared to the Alpha Academy song that he had to come out to before, this is way below that. It's kind of a joke. Him doing the skull clap, that's laughable. I'm a diehard Minnesota Vikings fan, and I'm a huge Chad Gable fan, and that's just a joke. They should not be doing that. It's probably going to get over in the stadium just because they are in Minnesota and they do the skull clap. But for Chad Gable to be doing that makes no sense to me. But Chad Gable, IC champ here. It's going to be a great match because that's all Chad Gable does, have great matches. Chad Gable will be champion, and hopefully they do something with him. Then we move to our main event of the evening, and we have Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. And I got to be honest, I am not as interested in this as I feel like I should be with Seth Rollins facing Roman Reigns. They've been building this with a lot of the Shield stuff. But I'm just not too excited for this. A lot of Roman Reigns' builds, honestly, since WrestleMania 40, haven't been that great for me. But it's going to be a great match. Two big stars. I don't think they take the title off of Roman here. I guess I can kind of... No, I really can't. I really can't see Seth Rollins winning this. I got Roman Reigns being victorious here and retaining the title. But I think it will be a great match, but I'm not looking forward to it that much, but I am going to enjoy it. I know that, but my interest in it is just not that high. But that's it. That's the SummerSlam card. So for night one, I have Fatal Influence defeating the Bellas. I have Gunther defeating Nick Aldis. I have the Bloodline defeating Solo Sikoa, LA Knight, and Royce Keys. I have Punk retaining his title over Cody Rhodes. I have Oba beating Brock Lesnar, and I have Liv Morgan retaining over Iyo Sky. Then we move to night two. Night two, I personally have Dom Mysterio beating Danhausen, but I think WWE is going to have Danhausen win, but give me Dom. Then I have Sami Zayn defeating Finn Balor to become the number one contender. Trick Williams is obviously retaining his United States Championship here. I have Charlotte Flair winning the ladder match to become the interim women's champ. I have Chad Gable defeating Penta to become IC champ. And I have Roman Reigns retaining his title against Seth Rollins. Overall, I think it is going to be a solid card. The build to it, like many pay-per-views for WWE in the past, hasn't been great, but I think it will deliver. And I'm excited for it. Hopefully it's great. Let me know who you think is going to win. Let me know what match you're most excited for. Did you like the build? Did you not like the build? Just your overall thoughts on SummerSlam. And I hope it's a great one, and I'll see you in the next one.